Hello friends and welcome to Study IQ. I am Joycey Joy and today we will be discussing about the climate change dangers to Mumbai. So here we will be discussing about the current affair. Also we will see the important highlights of a journal called Nature. So the current affair itself is that the journal Nature has published a paper that identifies the dangers of climate change in Mumbai. So we will see what are the important highlights of this paper. Also, we will see the important findings of these studies conducted by this journal. We will also discuss about the IPCC recommendations. Also, we will see the problems with the ongoing projects in Mumbai. Also, we will discuss about the concerns and also the way ahead, what has to be done. So these are the topics that we will discuss today. Let us begin with the current affair. So current affair is that a journal called Nature has published a paper, and this paper identifies the dangers posed by climate change to coastal cities, especially Mumbai. So when we talk about India's coastal areas, we know that the coastal areas in India stretches from the southern part of Kerala in the side of west, and it reaches till Mumbai. Now when we talk about the eastern side, it stretches till Bengal, West Bengal. So this journal has published this report citing the challenges, the climate change challenges on the coastal areas of India, coastal cities of India, especially the city of Mumbai. Now when we say coastal cities, why coastal cities or cities has been specified? This is because of the rapid development that takes place in the cities, plus the effects of climate change on the coastal areas. So first factor is that we know that the effects of climate change on coastal areas would be much severe than that of the interiors, and also the pace of development in cities is very high, especially cities like Mumbai. It is growing at a faster pace of development. So that is why this journal has specifically mentioned about the coastal cities. Now this is also very important for your examination. When a question is asked on the analytical part, you should specify why cities have been mentioned. And also the research indicates that anthropogenic climate change will inundate significant sections of Mumbai by 2050. Anthropogenic means man-made or caused by human actions. So man-made or climate change risk caused by human actions, this will take away a larger part of the city by 2050. So this is the current affair. Now let us move on to the important highlights of this report, of this paper. Let us see what are they. So first one, unless the city of Mumbai takes significant action in the next 3 decades, that is 30 years. Why? Because it is expected that the results will be showcased or experienced by 2050. So we have 30 years of time to take significant action. So the city have to take significant action in the coming 30 years. Otherwise the sea, that is the coastal area or the sea, will reclaim much of the landfill that the city has been built on. So if you have ever been to Mumbai or if you have read about Mumbai, we will see that a majority of the city is built on the landfills. So the sea will claim the landfill, a majority of the landfill on which the city is built upon. And also as per this study, by the year 2050, if no action is taken, Mumbai will look like 1700. This is because in 1700, we are talking about the year 1700. So in 1700, the city was least developed. It was not even a city. So looking like 1700 means that the sea will claim a majority of the city and the city will disappear. This is largely because, as we have seen, a majority of the city is built on the landfills. So the paper suggests that the city or the policy makers in the city should take significant and serious efforts to adapt to climate change. Another finding of this report is that together with other cities like Jakarta, Miami, Manila, Mumbai will also be endangered because of climate change. That is, the climate change will claim a larger part of the city and it will become endangered or it will disappear. Now, if we talk about the present status of Mumbai, if we talk about the climate change induced risk in Mumbai, first one would be regular cyclones. Now, second one is heavy rains. Now, let us look at them individually. Cyclones, we know that the effects of cyclones are felt on the coastal region. This is because of the coastal impact. Second one, heavy rains. So, heavy rains because the monsoon dependency or the monsoon influence on the coastal area, the monsoon dependence or influence of the coastal areas is very high. So coastal areas are highly influenced by monsoons, and this will have an impact on the quantum of rainfall received in the coastal areas. So these are the two very important climate change induced risk that Mumbai is already experiencing. Now let us come to the details of the recent studies conducted. So a recent study was conducted by IPCC. IPCC is Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and this study indicates that effects are more intensive than earlier models. So earlier models are the predicted models, and IPCC studies reveal that the effects of climate change are much intensive or more severe than what was earlier predicted. So there was a special report on ocean and cryosphere in a changing climate published by IPCC, and in this study it was revealed that the sea levels are significantly higher. So the sea levels are severely higher, and it is higher than what was originally anticipated or predicted. So as the sea level rises, the impact will be much more experienced in the coastal areas, and this will claim the cities. So coastal cities like Mumbai. Now let us come to the IPCC recommendations. So coming to the recommendations, first one, the IPCC report is providing a warning to the policymakers and the planners, the administrators. So it is giving a warning about the climate change induced risk for the city. So it warns the planners, that is the urban planners, who plan on the infrastructural development, and the administrators of Mumbai. It can be municipalities or the state government. So administrators and planners are given a warning, and it also states that in the absence of an adaptation, more intense, frequent and extreme sea level events can happen. So second recommendation is to undertake adaptation measures. So if there is an absence of adaptation, what is Mumbai experiencing now? This will be intensified, and regular or frequent extreme events will take place. Now, thirdly, the studies or IPCC also recommend for a well-designed coastal protection. So, well-designed coastal protection, why it is important? This will reduce the expected damages, and also this will be cost efficient for urban and densely populated areas. And it recommends that there is an urgent need for adaptation and action in a vulnerable city like Mumbai. It highlights the fact that Mumbai, being a coastal city, is very much vulnerable to this climate change induced disasters. Fourth recommendation is to adopt development planning. This is because the study highlights that the city of Mumbai, it is ignoring climate adaptation programs and infrastructures in its development planning processes. So it is very important to adopt a development planning which will take care of these concerns and the vulnerabilities of this city. So these are the recommendations given by IPCC. Now let us come to the problems in the ongoing project in Mumbai. So major problems are that the ongoing planning for the infrastructure does not take care of the climate change induced risk. Now, second thing is that the project makes the city vulnerable to flooding. Already being a coastal city, it is vulnerable to flooding, and if these risks are not adapted in the planning process, then this will make the vulnerability more intense. And thirdly, the Coastal Road Detailed Project Report and the Environmental Impact Assessment Report, EIA report, significantly underestimate the sea level rise. So we have seen that one major threat to the city of Mumbai is the significant sea level rise, and in the Environmental Impact Assessment, this has been underestimated. Now let us come to the concern. The biggest concern is that the planners do not use the current and future projections. This is because when we build an infrastructure, the infrastructure is designed for the future. That is, it is not for the past. So it has to take care of the needs of the future. So planners they are not using the current and future projections, and this is the biggest concern. Why future projections are important? This is because the future projections will estimate the future climate risk, and it is very important to consider the future risk. Second concern is that important climate data has been ignored in the design of new infrastructural projects. For example, already many incidents of flood has taken place in Mumbai. So the important data available from this previous events, this has been ignored. And thirdly, the lack of accountability. That is, it is very much unclear who is accountable or who is responsible for what and who is accountable to whom. Now let us see, is there any infrastructure that could help? So having seen all these issues and the highlights of the studies, it is sure that Mumbai is in the midst of a climate emergency. So what does it mean? So the climate emergency demands the city administrators to rethink how Mumbai could be remade in and with rising waters. So amidst of all these vulnerabilities, how the city can be remade. So Mumbai demands for a climate emergency. So what does it mean? It means that the demand is now for new imaginaries, new designs, new plans, new infrastructure, etc. Now let us see what is the way ahead or what could be done. First of all, climate change should not be just seen as an environmental issue. It is not just an environmental issue, but it has larger concerns. So it should not be just seen as an environmental issue. Rather, it is a human issue as well as an urban issue. So being a human issue and an urban issue, climate change induced risk or disasters will have repercussions on the human lives or on the population and also on the infrastructure and the general public as a whole. So this is not just specific to Mumbai. When we talk about the climate change induced risk anywhere in the world, this is not an environmental issue. Now specifically about Mumbai, so this issue can impact the human life and every resident of Mumbai and especially its urban poor. This is because most of the times the impact of the climate change or the negative impact is severely felt by the poor or the lower class. So the administrators or the policy makers in Mumbai should change their priorities now. It should adopt planning and also mitigation measures. So it is recommended that the city would spend more money on mitigating the effects of actual rainer days, floods, rising seas. Now let us see a mains model question. The question is how climate change and refugee crisis are interlinked. So here this question asks you to comment on this issue. So here you will see there is a human aspect, the impact on human beings or as we said, climate change is not just an environmental issue. It is rather a human issue. It is an economic issue, a social issue. So here it is covering all the dimensions of it, human, social and economic. So how climate change and refugee crisis are interlinked? That is the question. So please try to answer this question on your own and send me your answers to joyce.studyiq@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with me on my Facebook page and you can find the PDF of this lecture on our website www.studyiq.com.